Hi, this is Chrissy Incognito, and welcome to another episode of my channel. Now, you might be wondering why I'm incognito. This is my alter ego that can say things that I cannot otherwise say unless I was incognito. So, thank you for returning. In order to understand more about this episode, please view the previous episode. Happy listening.
So this relationship went on from 94 to 96. And I was just getting more and more deeper into school. Obviously, I got progressively harder. So that's where all of my attention and mindset was. And it just was not going to be anything else. So I remember in November of 96, we were on the phone, and I'm really, like, ashamed of myself for what I'm about to say, um, but we were on the phone, and I don't know, I was talking about, um, going on, master's programs or whatever it was, and I was going on, and he said something like something along the lines of marriage, and I said I said, something like, "I'm not gonna have time for marriage. That's not even where I am. In fact, I wanna break up with you because my mind is set on this path, and I can't be distracted by stuff, and basically by stuff I don't even want." And he didn't know what to do with that either. And I was so cavalier about it. I was so dismissive, out of touch. Um, Only years later did I realize how devastating that might have been. His response was just like, "Oh, oh, oh, okay." Like, I don't think he knew what to do with it. And I just plowed ahead and was like, "I got all this school stuff, and I'm trying to do this, and I'm trying to do that, and I don't have, like, time for frivolous things like marriage," like, something along those lines. And I said, "And I don't even wanna have kids." So, we broke up, and then we did remain friends, and then the following summer, so that was November '96, in June May, June, something like that. Then that's when Robert came along. Um, I did try to contact Brian a few years ago. Um, I didn't have his email because obviously this was before email. I didn't have his number anymore. I was sure that he was still living at his childhood house, or I should say, his parents were still living at their house that the house that I dated him in, that he grew up in. So I didn't know what else to do. So I sent a letter to him, and it didn't come back. So I have to assume that it reached him or somebody. And I said, "I just wanted to see how you were doing. I don't want to disrupt your life. If you're able to, contact me. Here's my email and my cell phone." And I never heard from him, and I don't blame him. Okay, regardless of whether he was single, married, whatever. I don't think I'd want to, like, stir up that pot either. Like just to be like, well, she's just going to be an older version of crazy. So, what I do hope, I mean, obviously, I hope he's happy. I could have never given him happiness. I mean, it just took so many years for me to be functional, especially in a relationship. Um, but he really wanted kids, and I hope he got the kids that he so wanted and would have so deserve because he was such a good person. And that's really the Brian story. There was a lot in that relationship. I realized that when I was with Michael, Michael was the abuser, and I was more of um, the taker, the victim. And then when I started to date Brian, I was the abuser and he was the taker. And I think it was part of it had to do with if I had been strong, Michael would have never done all of that stuff to me. Problem is, you can't go back. You can't fix something in one person or in a situation and somehow it count for the past situation, right? My time to be assertive with Michael passed, and that's just all it was. To be more firm and unreasonable was not going to make that situation any less um it happened. It wasn't going to make it any less um real. But I think that's where I was in the time that I dated Brian. I was trying to regain the control that I lost, that I lost in the Michael years and then in the 1993 years. And I thought maybe if I was firm and I was insistent and I was whatever that was, that it would somehow repower me. And it really didn't. Like for the moment, it might have, but it really didn't. It just made me look on my behavior and feel ashamed. So, this is Chrissy Incognito. Thank you for joining me in the Brian episode, and I wish you happy listening.